Good morning. Good morning, Wendy. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. It's nice to get up early and welcome you all to Morning Tarot. Morning Tarot. Let me see what's going on here. Looks like we're just okay. Now we're going live. Going to go ahead and mute that. How is everyone doing? Oh my goodness. I fell asleep at 9 p.m., probably earlier than that, I think. I was reading Matthew Wood's book, and then I got up and read some more. It's very interesting. Anyway, so Mila is passed out. Mila wanted to play at 2, 3 in the morning, so that was interesting. How was everybody? Did you guys enjoy watching the DNC? We got to hear Kamala. They taught us how to say the name. That was cute. Cheers, everyone. Skull Nastrovia. What else can we say? L'chaim, of course. L'chaim. Oh, you're doing great. Yeah, hopefully the repairs on your house are okay, Wendy. I know I want to get as much done before the rains come. So, yeah. Hi, Karen Bard in beautiful Sweden. Sorry I missed you. My last trip to Sweden was my first, but it won't be my last. Molly Thrasher, hello. Had a beautiful experience. Even though I got quite ill on the plane, I actually had a beautiful it was very positive, my time in Sweden, despite everything. Hi, Rush. Great to see you here. Rush, I believe, is in New York, if I'm not mistaken. Wesley Starrett, hello. Terry Courts, good morning. Terry, are you on the West Coast? I think you are. Copper Broom, hi. I think Copper Broom is in the Pacific Northwest, right? I'm usually pretty good. I'm feeling better. I went to the dentist yesterday, and I'm in the final phases of my 2-year goal of getting a perfect smile. And it was just a personal dream of mine to have amazing teeth. I know it's I was in Hollywood and everybody's staring at your teeth. It's like a big deal over there. And then I left Hollywood and moved to Portland, and I thought, why am I spending so much money on my teeth? I'm in Portland now. Oh my gosh. So I got the top veneers done, and now I just have to do the bottoms, but they prepped them yesterday. So I almost said at the zoo. I was at the dentist for 4 hours yesterday, getting prepped. And I'm just reading that Ivanka Trump ditched her dad. That's kind of interesting because when I was remote viewing being Donald Trump, because I become the person that I'm attempting to find out information, I try to embody them. But similar to actors, I suppose. Maybe some actors do HCRV. I suppose they do. But when I was Donald Trump, I complained that my daughter, Ivanka, had checked out, that she was uncommitted, and that she was just taking care of her family and her own stuff, and that she was selfish that way. Oh, Niagara. Oh, so you're over on the East Coast. I didn't know that, Terry. Wow. Oh, Stephanie, you went to Mexico? Yeah, it's supposedly cheaper. But this is a 2-year process, so going back and forth to Mexico would not have been cheaper. Hi, Connie Morris from Pennsylvania. Oh, you're in D.C., Northern Virginia. I knew you were on the East Coast somewhere. Copper Broom is in Texas. Okay. I'm sort of in the vicinity. New Brunswick, Canada. So is anybody starting to get rain? We got some rain in Portland, which was nice, and I can definitely feel things cooling down. I will be in Ireland. I'll be trying to communicate with the fairies, but alas, according to Matthew Woods, I need to be very careful because we don't want them. They can possess you and do all kinds of naughty things, which sounds, I guess I'm flying out on Labor Day. Monday, Labor Day is when I fly out. I didn't realize that. Oh, so it's going to be crazy at the airport. Well, that's a pain. I didn't realize that I was flying out on Labor Day. So that means I'm going to be here for 7, 8, 9, 10 more days. You can get readings with me for the next 10 days. If you're trying to see me before I leave for Ireland, and I'll be gone 2 weeks. Something else I need to mention. Oh, yes, if you have a Wizio you need me to do, I'm doing the Wizios today. I usually wait until I have a few of them, but I will be getting Wizio. If you sent one in the last 5 days or so, your Wizios will be sent to you later today. Hi, Anne. I will be in Dublin. I don't know if any of you want to meet and greet. I don't drink beer. You're welcome to drink whatever you like, but as long as we can go somewhere where I can have a hot Irish tea. Yes, Irish breakfast or something like that. I'll be a happy clam. 4 visits. See, the visit and the hotel and everything else, Molly, costs money. So the time taken off costs money, and that has to be calculated when it comes to going to Mexico. Oh, you're going to Morocco. I'm thinking of doing a trip to Morocco sometime. I had to cancel a trip to Morocco because they messed up a flight. It's either going to be Morocco or Dubai for the winter. So maybe you guys should tell me where to go. Tell me where I should go. I want to go somewhere hot, of course, probably around December, January, February. I'll probably be out of the country again. I think it'll probably be somewhere the Middle East or North Africa. So I think it'll either be Morocco or Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Yeah, I think that's where I'm heading. That is where I am heading. Oh, you're planning a trip to Elvis's mansion. That's very nice. Very, very nice. Yes, Midas Touch just published a thing where Ivanka is saying, "It's over, Daddy." Ivanka ditches her dad and sends him an ominous message. It's kind of interesting that when I was Donald Trump, yeah, well, she's just like me. She's going to take care of herself first. Well, I guess I'm like that too. So that was an interesting conversation I had with myself as Donald Trump. And that appears to be what she's done. She will always take care of herself and her family first, above anyone else. They have a very sick relationship, don't you think? I mean, just really weird, really a weird relationship. So I was thinking about Ukraine invading Russia. Ukraine enters Russia, and we had talked about D-Day, and we had talked about the fact that June 24th that people needed to get out of Crimea because they were going to start softening Crimea and they would enter through the east. So, okay, great. They're vulnerable to air attack. This is something that air attack is the biggest threat to the Ukrainian army right now. So say you have large amounts of troops moving forward, they could be bombarded by an aerial assault. So we're looking at a potential aerial assault. I don't know if I spelled that right. You folks are the spellers. I can't spell. I'm a ghetto baby. That sounds Ariel. Ariel. Air. Ariel. Ariel. How do you spell aerial? Like an aerial defense. Here we go. Aerial defense. I spelled it. Oh, thank you, darling. So it's an air. It feels like it's an aerial that would be coming from the east. They would be hitting Ukrainian troops by air from the east, and that kind of makes them sitting ducks a little bit. So for that reason, I think it would, I'm a little concerned about Ukrainian troops being on the ground, being vulnerable to an aerial assault by Russian planes, because they still have some Russian planes. I think that I showed you guys where they're heading. Let me go ahead and show you that. So that you guys have a heads up about all of that. Good to see you all. If you guys could like and subscribe. I am your favorite remote viewer. Yes. Named Whimsy of all the, yeah. So we have Kharkiv. And then we are headed to the Donbass. We're headed from there to Kursk. Yes, Kursk. Thank you. Okay, so this is where how far they've gone, and you can see they've gone from Kharkiv to Kursk, which is 239 kilometers in. So if you go from Kursk to Moscow, (5 hours and 52 minutes from Moscow, or approximately 527 kilometers or 350 miles now from Moscow. However, they're not going to be going this way because they've got Russian troops coming in from here. So what they're going to do is they're going to head in this direction. So that means you could see this area up here being taken. Oops, let me back up a little bit. Belarus is defending themselves, but I don't personally feel like I need to go to Belarus as the person directing this. Instead, I want to head over here in this area and come around. You see, I can go because this area here is not defended. This entire area from here starts to get very religious. This is where the churches are near St. Petersburg, up here. So the wise thing for them to do would be to head north and then go around. Shoot, I'm having problems with this. Hold on, you guys. Just be patient. Oh, that looks rather pretty what I did. I don't know what I did, but it looked pretty. Okay, so they're going to have to take a long route because they're stifled here at the border with Belarus. And so they're going to, this area here would be better. I would recommend taking, here's Kursk. This is, and this area over on the east is where they're getting resistance, and they could be getting air power coming in very, very soon, an air hit. So it would be better for them to head over to this area here and have, so this is going to be 91 kilometers. They're going to have to go around. See, here's Moscow. So then the next one could be Kopensky. And then after we get to Kopensky, you can just watch this happen because of where the troop positions are right now. And they need protection. They need defense from air. Yeah. Okay, and then after they get to Kopensky, I would recommend that they can go ahead and take this area next. They can cross the river, which also means they can go ahead and break up this stuff here because there's no defense up here. That's what I'm saying. There's no defense. There's no troops. Why are there no troops? There are no troops because they didn't think that they would need Russian troops in the middle of the country. So they're just going to go up this way. They could enter in through here. And by car, that's 32 kilometers to get from Kopensky to this area. And then they can just shoot across, avoiding the troops, and go straight up and then take Moscow, excuse me. God, Freudian slip, right? Beer Berlin, and it's all the same thing, isn't it? And then they could go up here, Kaluga. This area that you're seeing around here is all heavily defended. So what they need to do is they need to go around. And then they can come up and they can enter through here. Because this area, like I said, and here's St. Petersburg up here. So what I was trying to say as a remote viewer is that this entire area has no military. All the way from St. Petersburg to Veliki. This is just churches, you see. Maybe they thought that praying would be enough. So I'm not getting heavy troop activity up here. So if they wanted to split the column, but this area, they will do everything in their power. But the problem is they're over here, right? So if they secure the area to the west, and go straight north up through here, they'll be able to avoid troops. And then they could even go as far as St. Petersburg, because this entire area is not defended. And they're going to be frantically trying to protect Moscow. So what happens is that they come up through here, they could split, cross the river, and then come around and take Tiver. And then from Tiver, they could go in and start hitting from the northwest. They could start firing. This is the easiest way for them to get in and take Moscow. Somebody said, I'd prefer you be neutral. Like, don't help the West, don't help the East, just be neutral. As a remote viewer in the altered state, you try to just simply collect objective information. Like me wanting to let the powers that be know that you have a clean shot between where they are now, Kopensky, and heading into Kopensky, to St. Petersburg, if you go straight across, because there's no Russian military there. They could try and shoot across from here to create a line between Moscow and here. But to be honest with you, I don't think that they're going to do that. Feels to me like chaos. It just feels to me like complete chaos. People are frantic and people are leaving and they're headed northeast in this area over here. And that's probably a good idea for them to just get out and head northeast. They'll be safe northeast. They will not be safe in the west. This whole entire area is vulnerable. And you can go, and this entire area has no military. There was no reason to have military here from their perspective. Completely undefended. So it would be relatively easy for them to just walk in, come around into Tiber, wrap around, and basically cut the country in half, Oblast in half. Any questions about that? Let me get a glass of water while we discuss these important developments and what the vulnerabilities are for the Ukrainian military. Does everybody see it? Does everybody see the plan? Does everybody energetically feel the openness? Those of you who are remote viewers, hi Mila. Do you feel the openness that I'm talking about on that northwestern side? What they're doing is they're softening the target right now with drone attacks, and also small missiles will be coming next, which is a warning to anybody who's a civilian to get out of Greater Moscow. So the next rational thing to do is for them to go in with planes and begin to hit via an aerial assault a Ukrainian ground offensive. And that's what they're going to do. And I see them coming in from the northeast. From the east all the way to the northeast, we could be seeing an aggressive aerial assault to try and push back the Ukrainians. And so for that reason, it would be important for them to get aerial coverage while they advance north. This is the least fun for me as a remote viewer because I understand the importance of what I'm doing, but I don't like war. It's not fun for them, especially for them. But hopefully if people can think strategically, the fall of Moscow will happen with the least amount of deaths. I have to go back and show it one more time. We're talking about this is how I want them to come in to Moscow. So if this is Moscow, I want them to come in like this and go like that. I'll show you one more time here. To keep them safe, I would advise them to go like this. This is the safest route to entrance, is to just do it this way. Now, when you get here, there's no troops. It's very sad, They just didn't prepare. They don't have any protection at all. Not only that, but Finland is now NATO. So St. Petersburg will likely fall in the next few weeks if we don't get a surrender. Yeah, Sweden also got the planes. Remember, we had said that Sweden would get planes and join NATO. So we now have Sweden involved. And again, we've got air defense over here with Stockholm. We've got Finland prepared. And this entire area is undefended. So they should come up here and come around. Follow the river right here. This is your safest way into Moscow. You could also meet NATO here. Okay, that's what I got there. Any questions, concerns regarding the remote view of Ukrainian troops, their risk to aerial assault from the northeast, east? That's correct, Joel. Thank you. So north of Moscow is not protected, but the east is, and specifically the north. West Moscow is protected, 20, 30, 40 miles out. But if they go around and go to the tip to the north and do an assault from the north, and then they could split and march very quickly into St. Petersburg, because as I had showed on the map, also as remote viewers, I know several of my students are here, Cartomancy, Mesquite, Rush, Desiree, hi. You can go into your own altered state and feel where you're getting resistance and where can I fly in. Put yourself in the shoes of being a Ukrainian and you're driving. Where do you feel blocked? Where do you feel like you can get in? You are that. Remember, you're an HCRV practitioner. How are you driving? How are you avoiding? You're going, right? And then when I get up here, whoa, St. Petersburg is open. Let's take St. Petersburg, right? So I can split if I want to, because there might as well, there's nobody defending it. If somebody sees something different as a remote viewer, then challenge me, because I make mistakes. But I felt, as the person in the Jeep, that was the easiest way for me to get to Moscow. And that was once I got further north, there was next to no protection, because look, they could quickly try and head west, but again, I wouldn't recommend it, because at that point they're taking troops away from Moscow and they're desperately trying to protect Moscow. The map is not showing. What do you mean the map is not showing? Do you want me to show the map again? Oh, did I not? I apologize. So, yeah, here's St. Petersburg. Here's Moscow. Here's where troops are coming in from Kharkiv. See this? And now they're going to come up this way. And then this is where they're vulnerable, coming through here. See Tyler here. Tver, excuse me. This area is where they can get in, is between Tiber and this area. Yaroslavy and Tver. There's an opening here. This looks like some train track or something. They might blow up, but they don't really need to. This is the fastest way to get in, is from the north here. Now, what I said was over here is undefended. I don't get any military at all. They just didn't think there would be a need for Russian military up here. And so consequently, when they get over here, they can just fly, because there's no defense. However, this area is heavily defended. They just need to go around. Just go around. Just avoiding those eastern troops, and do what you can to protect yourself from an aerial attack, which is the biggest risk right now, being trapped by an aerial attack, or being hit by some kind of missile. This guy is so crazy, he could theoretically think about small nuclear bombs, being so crazy that I don't think they're going to go into Belarus. I think that they could go here, but to avoid this huge troop buildup. But I can't see Belarus crossing the border and getting themselves killed. And then they could come up here and go around. Because it's just open. At that point, they're screwed. They could run over here to the best, but then what they've done is then they've opened themselves up, which would be a terrible mistake. So all they can do is defend here. But you see that lasso effect we've talked about before, where they come around like this into the undefended areas, and then they begin to squeeze the lasso, pushing them further and further in as the troops go forward in a circle, just going further and further in. This is a technique I learned about by simply being a remote viewer and seeing the troop movements. But they come around like this, and they just keep going closer and closer in. It's very good military. It's and not the same. Much better than what happened in Normandy, when so many people died in Normandy. I think that was all I wanted to share in terms of that. And then we can go ahead and do the empath prayer, and I can happily blitz for you guys for like half an hour, however long you guys want me to blitz. But I did feel like it was important for me to get that out. Okay. Okay. Any questions about that? Oh, maybe they warned Belarus not to enter. I wouldn't enter Russia. I wouldn't. I think you'd be asking for trouble. St. Petersburg is very, very vulnerable. I would strongly encourage those of you who are trained remote viewers to put yourself in the shoes of a Ukrainian driver and see where you feel blocked and see where you can go forward. I have a feeling you're going to get the same results I do. I can't guarantee it. But we've got 200 students now. Gosh, I feel overwhelmed. I can't believe we have 200 students, but we do. And I'm sure you'll all come up with some good insights. Cheers. And tonight at 6 p.m., we will be doing class 9 of the Mystical Tarot. We'll be working a little bit more on our Hebrew, and we will be talking some more about the minor arcana and its archetypes. Then we have another class, and then we go on our break, and then we come back for a fall quarter. And that will be starting fall quarter. If you want to take heart-centered remote viewing, it's free to elders and empaths. We keep it very affordable. It's only $9.99 a month. If you want to join our class, September 20th. Will be the first day, September 20th. Mark it in your calendars. Actually, I think we have to switch because it's getting, we might want to switch to a Wednesday. It looks like I have mystery school. It would probably be the 18th. Just because Friday is getting darker earlier. And so for people who keep Shabbat, it might be a little bit harder. Of course, everybody on the East Coast, it's too late anyway. But I'll let you guys decide if you want to do Fridays or Wednesdays. I usually let the audience decide. I'm free on both evenings, Wednesdays and Fridays. But I have a feeling, well, I get better attendance on Friday. I'll let you guys decide. Deborah, you help us decide. Should we start on the 18th or the 20th? I think Deborah's in class. Okay, let's go ahead and do the empath's prayer. And then we can also get to everyone's questions about the remote. I am really curious about what the other remote viewers are seeing. If it feels as open to you in that area that I showed you, I just didn't feel any I just felt like, it's like, there's nobody here. I couldn't believe it. Oh, Rush, you're so kind. I feel like I'm rushing through the Hebrew class a little too fast. Kamala was amazing. Yes, she was. And they did a poll of undecided Pennsylvania voters. There were 9 of them, and 7 said they were going to vote for Kamala. 1 said, I didn't plan on voting anyway, and I still didn't plan on voting, so she didn't change. And 1 guy said he was going to vote for Trump. So I think Pennsylvania is not a good. I would have preferred to see a poll out of Florida because I think it's pretty obvious we're going to take Pennsylvania. I'm more interested in Florida, North Carolina. Texas is now within a margin of error. It's because they took away a woman's right to choose in Texas, and now they have 10,000 unwanted children a year being born in Texas. That yeah. Did I do the empath's prayer? Did I do it? I don't think I did I? I think we got to talking. I don't think I've done the empath's prayer. Okay. We're going to pray together. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together collectively as a community, we say, Amen. Okay, let's, excuse me, sorry about the cough. It was so good earlier today, and then it goes crazy again. All right, let's see. Oh, you had a watch party. Good for you, Stephanie. Good for you. Hot summer. I don't like the heat. You're in Niagara. Okay, we got to all of that. Dallas is in the house. Very nice. Okay, we got to all of that. Okay, this first question is coming from Joel Tilson. He would like to know if F-16 will be used to hit Russian targets in Russia. Let's take a look. They want to get to armistice as fast as possible because they know they've lost the war. They don't have a military anymore. Six of Cups. Poor. The opposition is poor and people are leaving. Also, the church is poor. So people are disillusioned in Russia. Hopes and fears, the aid that we're receiving from the West, the Western Alliance, the aid. They fear the aid. They fear the aid. Archangel Michael, the sword of truth, which is Ukraine, wins. It's also aerial defense. To defend by air. It's amazing how the universe talks to us. This is both the symbol of the Ukrainian church, and also it is air sign, and to defend air. So the answer is yes. Isn't that crazy? The universe is a conscious thinking being that's talking to us. Isn't that crazy? Air defense. Let's see how that turns out for everybody. They want to get to ceasefire. We don't have the financial resources. They could ask help from China and North Korea. Xi Jinping, no, we're not interested, closing the door. No. We got our own problems, right? I'm in the middle of my own coup, trying to survive, right? Northeast. They're going to come up the north and head east. Northeast, 3 months. Northeast, headed northeast, 3 months. They're broke. Russia's broke. They're bankrupted. The money from the West. Also massive investments in Ukraine. They did a boo-boo. Armistice. The people will usurp, they will override Putin. The healing card of love. So in less than 3 months, they will take Moscow if we don't get to ceasefire. Direction is north. The direction is east, excuse me, with a 3 of Wands. Anybody surprised? He looks to the east. 2 of Wands is west. Surprise? No, you're not surprised. Some people don't learn. Will NATO be involved? NATO's already involved, and US troops are already fighting. And how we got around it was we used money that had been approved by Congress, and we paid for independent contractors who are US trained military to go in. And now we have hundreds of US contractors, if not thousands, that are US Marines, US Air Force, etc., that received their training in the US military and then took jobs as contractors. And then Zelensky was able to hire them and bypass the oh, you want to bring in the US Army? Great, we'll just bring in private contractors that are US Army, US military, US Marines, etc. So, and also the French Legion went in, the French Foreign Legion. So basically what NATO did was they just hired private people. And so that's how NATO got in. There is a learning disability associated with difficult spelling. I think it's because I didn't go to much grade school. I missed a lot of schooling because of my background, because I was in a certain situations that prevented me from attending school. So I didn't get much education until I was older. I'd had to catch up as an adult. So I have some holes in my education because of missing a lot of primary education as a kid. So I think that was it. If I'd gone to class, I probably would have learned how to spell. I'm getting better. I learn how to spell things every day. I learn, you guys help me with 1 or 2 words. So it's a lot better than it used to be. I used to be really terrible, terrible, terrible speller. And now I'm much, much better. I always get messed up with my vowels. It should be an E. I put an A there. It's always the vowels that mess me up. Arial is a weird spelling because it's AER and then IAL. So it's got a ton of vowels in it. So the vowels will always trip me up. Mm-hmm. So the next question, oops, I'm sorry. You guys flipped on me again. Okay, we got another question from Joel Tilson. Ground to air Ukrainian missiles used to protect troops. Yeah, I think that I want them to have good protection because I'm worried about him going crazy and using small nuclear devices or something and decimating Ukrainians. He's that crazy. So that's the biggest risk is them going in and them being bombed and taken out and being, once they get in there. That's the biggest vulnerability to Ukraine. Let's take a look. Ground to air defense. Just the Ukrainians have ground to air defenses. Well, they are going to be using their planes. Oh, they're hitting a depot. I just got it. They're hitting it's happening now. They're hitting a weapons depot. Where is that? I got to find that location. There's a weapons depot they're hitting. Wish they would do this in English because how do you make it English? This area looks like it's got a military depot they're hitting right around. Right about here. I just saw them attacking a depot. Here's Kharkiv. Here's Kursk. Somewhere over here is a weapons supply that they're taking out right over here. It's happening now. Wow, they're getting so damn close to Moscow. I don't think they should focus on this. I guess they're trying to take this out. They've already gone past Belgorod. They're way up here now. 320 something miles from, but I think they got to go around here. Go this way. Take Bryansk and then go around. This might be, and you can go as far out as here. There's nothing here. There's no military in Smolensk. These are just empty towns with churches. They can just drive right in. There's nothing here. I'm not getting any defense at all. Nothing here, nothing here, nothing here, nothing. There's nothing. They could just drive in. Can you believe that? There's nothing here. I'm getting no resistance. I'm just boom. I'm just going right in. There's nothing here. That's crazy to me. When I asked my higher self as the Russian, why is there no military here? It's like, we didn't think that we would have Ukrainian forces marching on St. Petersburg. Of course, we don't have military here. Who would think to have a military concentration here? I mean, that's just crazy. It's all open. It's all open. Why go to war with Belarus? They are taking out some depots over here. That's true, because they're trying to prevent from attack, which I guess goes back to what Joel is saying. But they're just going to go this way. God, that's crazy. Luga's completely open. Leningrad. There's nobody here. Wow. Just come around and take Tver and start bombing from over here. That's what they're going to do. Because this entire area is free. You could try and get troops to come in here. But it's too little, too late. Then they would come in here from Smolensk. So trying to meet them here just makes them weaker. Wow. Strictly for entertainment, YouTube. Please don't pull me off. I don't want to get in trouble with the YouTube gods. This is just an entertainment channel. I just make stuff up. It's not real, YouTube. You don't have to believe any of this stuff. Oops, I'm sorry. I didn't make you guys see it again. I'm sorry. I keep doing that. Yeah, here. These areas are completely undefended. Theoretically, I mean, in my dreams, as a very creative whimsy, I'm just a whimsy. This is political satire. But you feel this? Do you guys feel this? What do you feel when you go in here? Do you see any military troops? Go into your gut. What do you feel? Anything? Is there any resistance? No. It's free, free, free. And then come around and take them over here. It's just insane to me. I can't believe I'm seeing this. Oh my God. What a crazy world we live in. What a crazy, crazy world we live in. Do you guys see it? Now that I'm showing it to you, do you feel it? Put yourself in the shoes and drive. Trust your gut. Trust your gut. Trust your gut. Do you feel it? What about when you try and go east? Do you feel, but what about here? Northwest. Free sailing, right? The idea is to trust your gut. Can you feel it when you go in? If you can feel it, if you can observe it with your frontal cortex, what the monkey brain and the body is doing, and observe objectively, then you're a great remote viewer. It's not as hard as you think if you trust yourself. And now you see it. You see what I see. So now you know where the troops are headed, don't you? And you know why, don't you? We're just having fun, YouTube. It's just a conversation with a whimsy. Don't I advertise this as political satire? I'm a really good guesser. I'm a really good guesser. Oh, South Africa. You know, the problem is that it would be too hot in January, wouldn't it? January, February, March, April, May, June, July. I don't want to be in South Africa in July, your summer. I'll go in your winter, or I will go in your fall or your spring. I think we could get to a negotiation before they hit Moscow, but if they were smart, they could just go to St. Petersburg, because there's no reason not to. Let's see how I don't think they have to get to Moscow. Can't they? I think they should get to ceasefire. If I were Russia, I would try and get to ceasefire as fast as possible before we have a battle for Moscow. They're already being bombed. Moscow is being bombed now. The blitz is happening. They're already getting hit. They got hit again today. So the question is, and the closer they get, the worse the missiles are going to get. They're going to start using the short-range missiles now. Let's take a look at Moscow. There are not, well, yeah, you're probably right, Joel. The siege of Moscow. God, I really didn't want this to happen. Yes, it's very likely they could see the complete collapse of Moscow because of denial on the part of leadership. Look at the aid. This is ground offensive, by the way. It's Archangel Gabriel. And it's by ground. Look at Russia. Grief. Grief in the West. Fighting. Leads to heartbreak. Yes, we could see ground troops entering Moscow. That surprises me. I would like to think they could avoid that. They're hiding things. Russia is hiding its super weapons and some of its high military craft. People fleeing the churches, they are going to try and hit St. Petersburg. Look at this, though, hiding and secrets. So it could be that Moscow is defended with nukes. They have nukes and high-powered weapon systems that they are hiding from the Ukrainians. Secrets, family secrets. I think that they're hiding, what it feels to me going into this is that they're hiding high-powered weapons around in the defense of Moscow, and could threaten to use them. Look at this strength war. And look at Ace of Wands. This is a war card. Wands are fire. It's aggressive. It's Mars energy. Ace of Wands stands. Can't they even defend Moscow? What did he do to their military? My goodness. So I guess the takeaway is don't invade someone's country. So you prefer Morocco, but I hear Morocco isn't always safe for women. And I just don't want to deal with that sexist crap. I just want to go on vacation. And other people have told me they've had great times. So who knows? West Moscow is protected, you think? I think that, yeah, they would have to try and move troops and missiles to the west to protect Moscow. But if I know that it's a straight shot to St. Petersburg, don't you think Ukraine knows at this point? Oh, this is a really good question. Do we see a coup in Belarus? Let's take a look. Yes, exactly. Shy Violets. They would be losing a port. The whole point was to get a port. And now, what goes around comes around. You're going to lose a port? Coup in Belarus. That's a really good question. They want to get to ceasefire. They're going to have to come up with a new You know, Zelensky's really angry. This is St. Petersburg throw. It's not looking good, people. It's almost like they're going to meet Finland. You know what I mean? They're not going to, Zelensky and his people are so traumatized, they're not going to stop until they take the whole western side. You want to avoid the war, go east. People should get out of the way. Civilians should get out of the way because war, you don't want to be in the middle of a war. Someone said, but the Ukrainians are nice. Why would they? Because war is a war. And if they're firing at each other, you need to get out of the way. They're being advised to go northeast. Go to Siberia. You'll be safe in Siberia. Trapped. Again, money. This what money and support, grief. But here again, go north. Go northeast. Smoother waters lay northeast. So they should. If you're trying to avoid the war, go east. But specifically, you need to go northeast. Northeast is safe. You can, if you want to stay alive, you need to go northeast. You need to get. You cannot stay in the west. You can most dangerous place is the southwest and the east. They're going to take the southeast too. So I would recommend if you're there, go northeast. The only place safe, you're not going to be safe in St. Petersburg. You need to go northeast. Oh my God, I hate this. This is the least fun of anything I do. I don't like war. So what'd you guys think of Kamala's speech? Anybody want to talk about the DNC? Anybody surprised at the momentum? Are people surprised that it's now looking like the Florida polls? It's within a margin of error in Texas and Florida. What do you think happened? Why are they losing so badly? How did they become so disconnected from what the American voter wanted? Did they go too far with the American voter? They're losing Texas if this trend continues. Before the DNC, she was within the margin of error. They're definitely losing Arizona. They're losing Nevada because of the unions. They're losing Colorado. They've lost Pennsylvania, Michigan, Virginia. Florida's within a margin of error now, so they may lose Florida. And it's looking like North Carolina is starting to lean blue. Georgia, within the margin of error. I wonder about Ohio and Indiana at this point. The only thing that's going to save them is gerrymandering. It's not going to help Wisconsin because Wisconsin's going to go blue. Gerrymandering's not going to save them. I don't think so. I think it's going to be a blowout at this point unless people don't vote. Many people feel like Joel, that he lost the election last night, that was the point when the undecideds when you have 7 out of 9 undecided saying Kamala, now it's in Pennsylvania, but Florida, you know, even if you got 5 out of 4, that's, you know, undecided. He's lost in Florida. So it's not looking good. It's not looking good. I think, you know, there's so much we can learn about ourselves, you know, when we become dogmatic and we refuse to look at data. For example, when it looked to me like Joe Biden was going to step down, people became very angry. I lost subscribers because people were rigid in their thinking. And it made it very scary for me to be a remote viewer, that, you know, because people didn't want to hear it. And so we all have to be careful of not getting attached, like having our ego be attached, and being willing to just stand back and look at data objectively, because it should not be a personal thing like, well, my ego. We should be able to just, let's look at the facts, let's look at the data. And that's kind of what we needed to do. Yeah, most of the people are dead, yeah, from those areas. Trenches around Moscow. My thing is I'm seeing nukes. I'm seeing weapons systems, and I'm also seeing them concentrating on trying to defend their air defense in Moscow. That's the main thing. There was a question that, see, I lost the question. I'm trying to find it. Just trying to, the Finns are great soldiers. Oh, cool. Finnish are hardy. You know, I hope to be back in that part of the world, maybe next summer. Oh, yeah. Here it is. Joel said that Trump lost the election last night. I just think he's in poor health. I think he's on anti-anxiety medication. They had to put him in a glass box. I mean, he's got trauma from getting hit. And, you know, it's kind of what we said, you know, can this horse go out? The horse got spooked. And now the horse can't go out, and he fell apart after he was near that near-death shoot thing that happened with the gun. You know, you have to give somebody Xanax or muscle relaxants because they're a mess. Meanwhile, his business is gone. The Trump organization is no more. I mean, how much he owes? Millions, hundreds of millions. How much can the average person take? And I think that, and he's 8 years older and pushing 80. So everybody has a breaking point, and that he's reached his breaking point. Let's take a look at how Trump is doing. A heavy load lay upon him. Direction is northeast. He's probably in Westminster. Is that how you say it? It's happening in August. A heavy load lay upon him in August. Regarding his health challenges. You see? A heavy load lay upon him. The time is August, the 8th month, an issue of health, the hopes and fears. Remember, a blitz is the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th house. 7th is his immediate environment. He carries a heavy load. The direction is northeast. Around him, the time, August, a health challenge. This is very soon. This health challenge is very soon. I worry about the guy, you know, I'm a physician. It's like mental confusion and mental illness, the moon, howling at the moon, lunacy. Much of his health problems are mental. There's a mental thing happening. His heavy load lay over him. The king of, this is also a judge's card. He has to move. He's being forced to pack up and move. I wonder if he's going to get kicked out of Mar-a-Lago. I keep seeing the Ten of Wands, which is, you know, this is a direction for a move. I always use this because there's a house in the distance and the person is headed in a northeast direction. I think he's getting kicked out. I think he's going to have to permanently move to New Jersey. His brain, the Fool, I feel like he's lost his mind a little bit because of this juxtaposition and this. The moon, strength, the health is the moon, and foolish. That's almost like an Alzheimer's, or to be foolish. His mental health is foolish. His ability to seduce, his ability, you know, the seducer, the lover, he has lost his mojo. That's the best way to, I don't know where my mojo's gone to. He's defending against multiple attacks. I also see inflammation around his heart, and other remote viewers have seen that as well. Other psychics, other witches, psychics, remote viewers. We're all in the same soup. But we can see the red inflammation. That's why I wish he would go and get a cardiac assessment. Yes, not good. According to Rose Blue, 45 was posting every 5 minutes on Truth Social during Kamala's speech. He was totally freaking out. That doesn't surprise me. I mean, I didn't know that, but that doesn't surprise me. That it's kind of sad to watch it. You know, Deborah points out that voters love novelty, and he's gotten old, and they want something new. Ohio is red. It wasn't always red. How goes Ohio goes the rest of the country. It's been gerrymandered to death. We'll see how it goes because North Carolina is within the margin of error, and so is Wisconsin now. But, you know, Missouri is still holding red, but at this point, who knows? Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Well, we never want to get comfortable. We've got to vote and vote early. Rosie feels that Texas is done with Abbott and his crazy stuff. The conservatives are destroying Texas. Texas has always been an independent state of people who want big business, want the government out of their business. They have always been, you know, historically, they've been tolerant of the LGBTQ community in Texas. It was known as a safe haven for the LGBTQ queer community, and many people from the LGBT. If you look historically at the founding, they went to Texas. Some of the early gay taverns, etc., safe havens was in Texas. But they say queers and steers because it was known as the safe haven for the LGBTQ community. So what Texas had was free thinkers, independence. Get out of my bedroom. Get off my land. Don't you touch my gun. Don't you touch my boyfriend. Don't you touch my. It was a very independent state. It is not. It was not a Bible Belt. The Bible people came later. The missionaries followed, but it was originally a place where people went and they had their cattle, they had their guns, they had their gay bars, and people lived and let live. It was a firm ideology of independence and live and let live, and so this type of massive control over a woman's right to choose is actually driving many Texas men crazy, because that's just not Texas. That's some religious trip you're on, but that's not the heart of Texas. The heart of Texas is get your my land, my bar, my man, my woman, or whatever you choose. My guns, my cattle, get the hell off my land. You know, people went there so that they could be free and not have the government in their business. So to have the government this far in your business really goes against the grain for many Texans. Yeah. Stephanie Stevens writes, I saw a Queer Texas. You guys saw the Wild Wild West, the queer pictures? Pretty awesome. The whorehouses of Texas, that was pretty cool. I saw the old pictures. Men in dresses, trans men or men dressed in dresses servicing the customers. There were no women. So men wore dresses, or they wore women's nightgowns to advertise themselves. We are more conservative now than they used to be in Texas. Open gay partnerships. It's, that was why it was sinful, Sin City, Arizona, Texas, these areas, Tombstone, oh my God, the dark, wicked things going on, right? The dark, wicked things. It's like Sodom and Gomorrah. We got to bring our Bibles. And then there became a contrast between the independent thinkers that went out west so that they could live the way that they wanted to without anybody in their business. Lawlessness, yes, but it wasn't really lawless. It was live and let live. And if you got into someone's business or threatened them, at that point, a posse came. It was really about leave us alone to live our lives in peace. And that was the Wild Wild West. It was that aspect to the Wild Wild West. But yeah, some of the old pictures that have survived of LGBTQ in the bars, the saloons, but also in marriage pictures, partnership pictures, where maybe one man would be in a dress and the other would be in a suit, or they would both be in a dress, or also pictures of lesbian women where one would be presenting more masculine, or both would be in a dress. It was this idea, though, of just open tolerance, and that open tolerance was a higher ethical standard for the Wild Wild West than being it was almost like they frowned upon people that didn't tolerate diversity. So the changes that have happened historically in the Wild Wild West don't sit well with many people who have been in Texas for a long period of time, because it just goes against that independent spirit. It's going to be very interesting to see. But I think when they took away a woman's right to choose, that was it for many Texans. And at that point, you lost me. The Republican Party lost me at that point. What adults do in the privacy of their own bedrooms, that really rubs a lot of Texans and people from the Southwest the wrong way because of its history. Okay. Question. It's being presented by Goddess Kamala that it's about we the people. Yeah, it's funny that she's Kamala, which comes after Kali, transformation of Shiva as a calming, healing force. I think that's very cool. Yeah. Yeah, Texas was laid back, and I think it was Democratic up until the 70s, and then it switched as the Bible thumpers gained more and more power. It went from Democrat to Republican. It appears to be swinging back Democrat. Christian nationalism, taking hold, did not sit well with independents the independent spirit of Texas. Yeah. Well, this was a lot of fun, you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for your love and support. Please think about memberships. They help to grow the channel. Liking and subscribing also helps. If you need to see me as a naturopathic doctor or to get remote viewings done, the information is below. You just book and I call you. I think that's all I have. We live in amazing times. We live in amazing times. And it's really an honor and a privilege to be a remote viewer at this time for all of you. All right. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. Love and light, much blessings, and peace out. We'll see you next time.